What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video on my channel, Early Plays, and in today's video I'm going to be going over the top 5 units that you should re-roll for in 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. Now obviously this is based on the global version, so there's obviously not going to be as much SSRs as there are on JP or on the Korean version. And also I'm basing off of this website here and what they think is going to be like the SSR pool at the start of the game. So this is what I'm kind of basing it off of, and so these are the SSRs that I'm going to be covering, well some of them, not all of them. So yeah, and when you look at this, they've added a lot of characters already. When you just look at this, like all these grey ones, the unreleased ones, and these are the released ones. So that's quite a lot of unreleased characters. I didn't really think that there was that many, but yeah, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so I'm gonna go from like the worst to the best ones that you should re-roll for. So yeah, so at number 5 we have Jericho. Now Jericho is a bit of a weird character realistically, because obviously there's a very small amount of characters. So I mean, there's not really a lot of good characters you to reroll for. I mean, all these characters on this list are good, but it's like there's going to be a lot better characters eventually. So Jericho is here because she is an incredibly strong unit, just simply because of this flash ability here, because it has weakness, which means that damage done to targets with debuffs is increased by 3 times. So and also she has her own debuff ability and can inflict bleed. So you inflict bleed with Jericho, then you use your flash ability, doing 3 times the amount of damage, and you're going to do a lot of damage. Her passive, continuous cutting, so every time you use a skill, her crit chance increases by 10%, and she has a base 30% crit chance, which is good. And now this is good because it works with her ultimate, which is fatal, which increases crit damage by 2. So that doubles the damage on what her ultimate does. So, and it's like, yeah, so she's pretty good. She's a very good, strong nuker. The only downside is that her defense is absolutely terrible. Her resistance is awful. Patience, whatever you want to call it, is absolutely terrible. Which means she's a bit of a glass cannon, really. So she does a lot of damage, but also takes a lot of damage. But, however, as you've seen recently, Jericho is actually a very popular unit because of the super boss, the world raid boss, all that stuff. All those bosses that come out, they're all like blue bosses, which made it a lot more viable and like a lot more relevant in Grand Cross. So investing in her at the start of the game wouldn't be a bad idea. Getting her, like putting SSR coins into her instead of spending them on coin shop units, would be a good idea, because then if you can get a 6/6, then she's going to be doing a lot of damage. Next up in the number 4 spot is Slader. Now I was tempted to put Slader at the 5th spot, but however I decided to put him in the 4th spot, simply because of the fact that, you know, Slader he's relevant throughout the whole of the game pretty much, simply because that he's always going to be useful for something. Because especially at the start of Global Grand Cross, Slader is going to be good for PvP, and he's going to be incredibly good for Red Demon. So he's going to be one of the most popular characters, the most used characters at the start of the game, in my opinion. Especially with the whole Steel Spike ability here, because it increases crit chance by 2, which has a base crit chance of 30%, so it increases to 60%. And if you attack an enemy with an empty ult gauge, you triple your critical hit chance, which basically means that he's guaranteed to crit, which is incredible. Which is why he's good on Red Demon and he's good on PvP, because he's good at the start of like PvP matches and all that stuff. Seal stance skills, which is good at the start of the game because of one character that is you'll see later on. And also his ultimate does a lot of damage, and it's easy to get a fake combo with him. And yeah, also his fake combo, which is Simon, increases penetration by almost 20%, which is incredible. So he's going to be inflicting even more damage because of that, increasing our pierce rate, which is amazing. And yeah, I should put Slader here because he's more of a consistent damage dealer across all like game modes and stuff, and can be used for quite a lot of things, especially at the start of the game. So yeah, that's why I put Slader at number 4. At the number 3 spot is the Green King. Now Green King is here simply because of the fact that just like Slader, Green King is a crit machine. Especially because with his passive means for each bar in the ultimate gauge, ultimate move gauge, what you can call it, his crit chance increased by 10%. Now this is incredible because his crit chance at the very start is 30%, which is not really great, but obviously he has fatal, which increases crit damage by 2 times, so every time you crit, you're going to do double damage on top of that. So yeah, this first configuration Bumblebee does a lot of damage, and this is why King is extremely good for the Grey Demon as well. And yeah, also he removes all targets debuffs and inflicts 20% plus 20% damage for each one on the Toxic Garden ability, which is amazing, with high multipliers on top of that as well. On top of the AoE ultimate, which does a hell of a ton of damage. If you if you play the game before, you know how much damage like characters like Blue King do on their ultimate, simply because of crushing, because it ignores resistance, which is amazing. And yeah, Green King's here just because he's got good AoE damage, incredible single target damage, has an incredibly high chance to crit when he's got high ult gauge, and there's a lot of damage when he does crit, and also does remove targets debuffs, which is not really that good, but adds damage on top of that because of those debuffs, which is incredible. Now, this next on the number 2 spot, we have the Red Hauser. Now, this is probably me being biased because Red Hauser is my favourite unit in Grand Cross, simply because he's just an AoE machine and just does so much damage. Now, yeah, obviously he does so much damage because of the fact that he, like all these characters, like Jericho, Slayer, King, Hauser is also a crit machine. Which is, it's a bit of a trend that's shown through the list. He has a base crit chance of 40%, and obviously his cards like Super Cyclone with cutting increases chance to crit by 2 times. Has penetration on his main attacking card, which is, you know, this card is basically what makes Blue Demon Meliodas on JP insanely strong. Also, Leader's Instruments is a pretty good ability because it increases all base stats of ally humans by 8%, and seeing as characters like Slayer and Jericho are all humans, they're going to be doing even more damage, and it's going to be incredible. And yeah, also Hauser's ultimate, it also reduces ult gauge and also ranks down skills as well, which is incredible with high AoE damage, and it's easy to get your fake combo with Gil Thunder because there's a lot of free Gil Thunders to get. And yeah, Hauser is just an incredible damage dealer, good for PvE and PvP. It's pretty much good on all game modes except for things like raids and stuff, and like all like the super bosses and stuff. Although he is good for when the Merlin super boss will come out, so I don't know. Yeah, that's Hauser. Again, a crit machine, just like all these other characters. It's a bit ridiculous on how much damage this character can do, and especially at the very start of the game as well. So yeah, that's Hauser. And then moving on to the number 1 unit I think that you should reroll for is Green Counter Meliodas. Now, if you haven't played this game before, then you won't know what this character does. But this character is probably the best character at the start of the game, and it's simply because of his counters. His outburst counter, and that links with his passive. Because again, just like all the past 4 characters, this Meliodas is also a critting machine. Because of his passive all or nothing, the less health this unit has, the more likely he is to land crits. Now this perfectly works with his counter, because with his counter, the less amount of HP he does, the more damage he does with his counter. So yeah, he takes a stance to deflect a single attack at 250% damage based on missing HP. So the lower HP he has, the more damage he's going to do, which is incredible. And at the start of the game, this character can hit for up to like 400,000 damage or something ridiculous like that. Especially when he's got a 600% multiplier on his attacking card, and an ultimate that stuns for a 1 turn and cleanses their enemies' buffs as well. This Meliodas is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, when paired up with Diane, he does so much damage. And even still on JP, he's still a very useful unit, especially on story mode and all like PvE activities. Literally, it's like this Meliodas can literally single-handedly beat the story missions. It's ridiculous on how strong this Meliodas is. Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous to be honest, because if he increases HP, then he's going to be doing a lot more damage. So you give him HP and like attacking gears or something like that, then he's going to be hitting extremely hard, and it's holy, he's incredible. So yeah, that is pretty much my top 5 units that you should reroll for. I mean, looking at all these characters here, I'm excluding all the coin shop units. I'm excluding Barn, Diane, Gotha, who else? Blue King, Red Demon, Green Merlin, because Blue Diane and Blue King are free-to-play units and coin shop units, and then the rest are coin shop units as well. So that's what I was going through, because I didn't want to include them because obviously they are the better units in the game. But yeah, an honorable mention which I was thinking of putting on the list was the Green Halbram, because Green Halbram is a booster, but then I was going to put him instead of Jericho, but then I realised, yeah, Green Gilthunder's there, and Green Gilthunder's better than Halbram, so I thought, yeah, I thought that swap would make Jericho better, because it's a better free-to-play option than Halbram. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, at number 5, we've got Green Jericho, number 4, Blue Slater, number 3, Green King, number 2, Red Hauser, and the number 1, Green Counter Meliodas. So yeah, that is the end of the video. I hope this helped you. I hope this, give you a good idea of what characters you should be looking for when you re-roll. That is if this is the hero pool, the character pool for when the game comes out. I don't know if it is. I wouldn't really mind if it was, because I mean, I don't really mind. It's just more content for us then, basically. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Early Plays, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Peace.